Before we get started, I just wanted to show you what the Rebel speedometer looks like. This is a much better looking unit. If you can fix this, mine is not fixable. I actually opened this up, it looked fine. It turns out, I think it is the sensor in the wheel, but the sensor in the wheel, I tried to look for it and the delivery was like in 6 months, 4 months, something crazy. So I just decided to get a new speedo. Look at the back. That's where the speedometer cable goes in. I ordered one, tried it, didn't work. And there's these two bolts here, these two nuts. We're gonna remove that. Somebody dropped this bike and it's bent right here. So, you know, that's probably the cause of it being broken. So we're gonna remove this. Make sure you don't lose those. Could be useful later. I might reuse this if I can, because this is like a really nice chrome housing. So this might be a little bit hard to see, but I'm using a very tiny Phillips screw, put it in this hole. This is the trip meter reset, and I'm just going to do counterclockwise. And you have to hold on to the plastic bit too. There we go. Speed coming off. And it's off. With the screw loose, I'm going to pull the speedo off. With the light connectors, you can just grab them, pull them out, and you have the lights. If you want, you can install LED bulbs in here, but that's pretty much the speedo unit. We're going to replace this entire thing. This is crimped from the factory, so when there's really no servicing these, but I did open it up. And if you want to open this up, it's pretty easy. This is crimped, so you're going to have to get a little screwdriver and get in the edges. I just kind of left it open. I could probably just grab it open. We have this gasket here, and we have the mount. I want to see if I can use this existing thing, because down here, all of this wiring, these are the lights for the dummy lights, the indicators. And since this speedometer doesn't have any of the indicator lights, I'm going to have to rely on these. And then I have two lights here that I could cut and use for the lights and power, I think. So this is going to be interesting. And also here, keep in mind, this is where more wiring is. This is the new speedometer. Let me see if it'll go in. Yeah, actually it'll fit right on to here. So we're kind of lucky that it fits on to the existing rubber without much use of anything else. That's going to be a very easy plug and play. I'm going to remove this wiring for now. The only thing that makes it look a little bit different is the font for this. It doesn't look stock, but it's pretty much like it's just a bolt on. This thing just slides right in. Put some electrical tape on the sides. That way there's like less play when you put it in this rubber cushion. This power cable clips on there, and now you have 3 wires. So the orange, this one, that's the backlight. You don't need it if you don't want to backlight it, but I'm going to do it. Then you have the blue, this one, that's the negative. And then of course this one, the red, is the positive. The kickstand, and one is the backlight for the speedo. Let's figure out which one is the kickstand. All right, I'm just gonna cut this right about here. These 2 wires exposed. I'm just gonna, there we go, reveal the wires. And you could also tap onto these wires if you need it, but right now we're just trying to figure out which one is which. And of course we're dealing mostly with these 2 wires. So we're gonna need to figure out which one is the positive. And I bet the green one is the positive here. So it'll be like this. Let me do this really quick, see if it turns on. There we go, that's it. The only thing that we have left is this orange one, and I believe I can connect that just to the black one, just 3 wires into the black, and that should work as well. It seems to be a very simple process, guys, so I'm just going to take these. These are just like little connectors, and we're going to do this kind of temporary for now, just make sure everything is working. So we're going to connect the ground wires right here. I got my other wire in here, and I'm just going to take my tool and tighten it up. The bottom one, make sure it's in there. There we go. So that's the ground wire. I'm going to connect these 2 wires first. Take my crimper. Nice and tight. So the black one here on the Rebel is the power. And here we go. Now I'm just going to crimp that side. Make sure that it's tight. There we go. So my wires are tight. They're kind of a mess. We probably will cut these wires off. The GPS is right here. So we'll have to get our antenna, which is this. They included that in this kit, and should be a pretty straight fit. The only downside is that it's a really long wire and you cannot cut it. You know, they recommend you not to cut it. So I'm going to remove these little, I'm actually going to use these wire ties here. Don't believe, I wish they actually provided a little bit of a 3M tape so you can stick it somewhere. The instructions, what I've read is that you do not want the antenna facing down, of course. You want this to point to the sky. It's got a mount for a little screw, and then this goes here. So we have to kind of figure out where we want it. There we go. And now we have to figure out how to put the antenna. Apparently, the one thing I didn't think about is that there's a button here, and you need that to do all the computer functions for this, so you need to leave this exposed. There are many ways of mounting stuff. This is the bracket that comes with it. I was thinking about putting a mount here, a hole, and having the antenna face that way. But it turns out the simplest ways of doing things are always the better way. Velcro. We're going to use Velcro to mount the antenna right over here in this piece of plastic. And that's a pretty decent one. Now I'm just going to remove the backing, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to take this zip tie, and just bundle everything together. I'm going to make the kickstand light. Eventually I might want to add it again. Well, I'm very happy with this, but I'm kind of sad I had to lose this. But what I might do is try to come up with a way of getting this to be cut down and making sure that I can still strap it on there. If I can cut it, I can put it on, and I'll still have enough space to put it on. So let's go ahead and connect the GPS. Turn on the bike, and you'll see that the odometer works. I don't know what COG means, but it's rising up, 7, 8, 9. That must be a GPS thing. Let's start the bike and let it idle for a bit, because I'm going to do just a quick test run of it. Hey, it works! Time to go for a little spin on the Rebel. I want to test out that speedometer quite a bit. I was expecting to hate riding this bike, but it's so easy to ride that even a caveman can do it. By the way, whatever happened to those commercials? They disappeared. How does the Rebel 250 do on the highway? I'm a little afraid, I have to admit. There we go. 45 miles an hour. This is why a little Rebel 250 might be, I don't know, a pretty darn good choice in commuting. To me, after I get the ST 1300s, I always get something extremely the other way. Where's this guy just driving on my side? Get out of here. Go. Shoot. Man, that is loud. See, this is like supposed to be a cop, but not really a cop. You see that? A cop would never do that. He did this on purpose. That's a DC thing. I did that too. I still don't hate this bike. I actually think it's brilliant. Lots of traffic in Washington today. Chris Tucker's coming April 21st to the MGM. Alright, now we're going to take some back roads through Oxon Hill. Look at this guy in a three-wheeler thing. Hey, a cool helmet. Oh my god, bumpiness. This is definitely not a dual sport. Jeez. Air Force Base to the right. Man, I'm trying to give it some gas here. Like I'm right at the ground because this thing is so short. Any Rebel 250 owners out there, how do you get rid of the vibration in the foot pegs on this bike? Man, it is unbearable. I haven't done that big of a ride and Jesus, it's just vibrating like crazy in the foot pegs. I'm going like 50. That shouldn't be making this amount of vibration. It's crazy. I'm sitting on the back seat, and this actually feels like a much more comfortable position. Just riding into sunset. Oh my god, this thing's so loud. Right, squids, that's the end of the ride today on the Honda Rebel 250. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.